Good morning. Residents, honored members of the Milwaukee Common Council, City Attorney Evan Goyke, City Treasurer Spencer Coggs, City Comptroller Bill Christensen, honored guests, cabinet members, I present my 2026 Milwaukee City Budget. Now, no task that we undertake in our leadership roles is more fundamental, nor any task more significant than the allocation of resources to conduct the business of city government. Through this process, we establish priorities and chart a sustainable course for the coming year as well as the years ahead. And we've endured a particularly volatile and perilous period in recent years. It's no secret that as recently as 3 years ago, Milwaukee confronted the possibility of fiscal calamity. Money from the American Rescue Plan Act was a temporary solution. Then there was a sales tax, along with the recalibration of state-shared revenue that offered a reprieve. City's financial picture does have greater clarity now, but it is not a rosy picture. The cost to continue this year's programs and service levels for next year exceeded our projected revenue by more than $100 million. Yes, we started with a gap of more than $100 million for our 2026 budget. That's one of the largest budget gaps this city has ever seen. Now, to close the gap, we carefully balanced three approaches. There were careful withdrawals from reserve accounts, departmental belt tightening, as well as revenue increases. Fully funding a budget of over $2 billion will require user fees to increase about 4%, property tax levy will go up 3%, and the vehicle registration fee is to increase by $10, bringing ours in line with a number of communities across Wisconsin. Now, I don't anticipate any layoffs with the 2026 budget because any staffing reductions should be accomplished by not filling vacancies. We've got a statutory obligation to balance our budget, and we've got a moral obligation to balance that budget in a way that is both responsible as well as sustainable. I've pushed every department to continue looking for ways to do their work better. As we fulfill our obligations, we attend to our policy priorities as well. And this budget includes a multi-part commitment to public safety, an investment in housing, affordability, in infrastructure, and in our libraries. I've consistently prioritized public safety in my budgets, and my 2026 executive budget is no exception. Again, this year, I've included funding for training the maximum number of police recruits at our academy, because I want more officers on the Milwaukee Police Department, and we've got a statutory obligation to increase those numbers. The Milwaukee Fire Department is on target to meet the obligation to grow its numbers, and my budget calls for adding 3 full-time equivalent positions, increasing fire investigation capabilities, and reducing the likelihood of arson in the city. The Office of Community Wellness and Safety, under its new director, will continue its work. And I'm pleased that he's going to bring a fresh approach that prioritizes positive outcomes. Now, recent deadly crashes in the city have alarmed me and many other people across Milwaukee. But from the tragedies and the sadness, we are even more resolved to make sure that we increase safety on our streets. The fact is this: traffic deaths have declined here. And I firmly believe our streets are safer because of the investments we've made in traffic calming roadway improvements. Just last year, there was a 7% decline in traffic fatalities in Milwaukee. And this year, there's strong indications that we'll see even greater safety. In 2026, we'll start a major road project on National Avenue that reduces the likelihood of crashes and deaths. And we'll finish a similar project on Lisbon Avenue. You'll see protected bike lanes, you'll see more trees, and a calmer roadway. Projects on Roosevelt, on Hopkins, on Oklahoma, and the Walnut-Lisbon corridor will all begin next year, curbing reckless driving and making roadways safer for pedestrians as well as bicyclists. We're awaiting more information regarding federal resources available to city government for flood damage and response due to the storms that occurred on August 9th. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is actively working with property owners, and the Small Business Administration is working with impacted businesses. Again, as we talk about the floods that happened, I want to express my sincere appreciation to city workers who responded and pivoted to the emergency. Our employees have done remarkable work that all of us can be proud of. I know that I am. I know that I am. Our employees did great work. Now, part of that widespread flooding damage hit our libraries. A number of the branches in our system were closed for several days. I remain committed, though, to our libraries because they provide valuable service, opening up opportunity, knowledge, and creativity for our residents. Like every department, we ask the Milwaukee Public Library to economize. Even so, hours and staffing remain relatively steady. And like other localities across the country, Milwaukee's economy has shown strength in recent years. Wages are rising, businesses are growing, and employment has been pretty solid. Now, that's been pretty good news for the hardworking people who live in Milwaukee. Folks looking for opportunities in our city, they find them here. Unemployment numbers have also been relatively low. We know from history, though, that economic good times are often interrupted. In fact, we've already seen some of those warning signs appear. So, as part of this budget, I'm directing resources to build more employment opportunities in the city. We're adding a position within the Department of City Development, and that person will be tasked with working with employers, working with existing businesses, and with businesses considering a new location. Because I want Milwaukee to be the first choice for businesses that want to grow, want to create opportunities for folks in Milwaukee. I want our residents to have increasing job opportunities. Now, housing is another issue that is important to every person in our city, because we're all aware of the growing costs of rent and home ownership. We're all cognizant of the ongoing need for quality residential choices. So the budget includes investments in Raise and Revive. It includes investments in the Milwaukee Home Down Payment Assistance Program, in the Strong Homes Loan Program, the Compliance Loan Program, as well as the Homes MKE effort. We'll continue to promote home ownership, and we'll continue to compel landlords to follow the law on safety and livability. I want our housing efforts to boost neighborhood stability, to increase safety, and to build value for our residents. There are efforts underway in several different city departments to strengthen housing in Milwaukee. These are all efforts that I support. In the coming months, I'll focus additional attention on the work that's underway because I intend to make 2026 to be the year of housing in the city of Milwaukee. There's no question, though, that our resources are limited. We simply don't have the money available to accomplish all the things that we would like to. However, that doesn't stop us from doing the work of city government better. While council members and I have periodic differences of opinion, it's very clear to me that we share so much in common. We all want our residents to have stability. We want our residents to have opportunity. We all want our residents to have safety. We all want our children to have hope and to find success. And in this annual budget process, we share the desire to strengthen city finances, improve government efficiency, and adapt city government operations to meet the moment. So yes, we've got fiscal challenges. At the same time, we're increasing investments in roadways, planning a new library branch, and a permanent home for the busy Midtown early voting site. We're funding the maximum number of police recruits and adding to the fire department. Importantly, we're focused on the future with resources to attract jobs and improve housing options. The budget that I present reflects the values that each and every single one of us in this chamber share. I thank the Budget Office and the team there for its diligent work and thoroughness, and I look forward to working with each and every single one of you as we shepherd this fiscal plan forward. Thank you so much.
Alderwoman Cox now moves that the Committee of the Whole rise Hearing no objection, so ordered. The chair recognizes Alderwoman Dimitrievich.
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the Honorable Mayor Johnson. I move that the mayor's proposed budget for 2026 be referred to the Finance and Personnel Committee for its review and consideration, and further that its report on the budget be submitted at a meeting of the Common Council to be held on Friday, November 7th, 2025 at 9 a.m.
Is there any objection to that motion? Hearing none, so ordered. The chair again recognizes Alderwoman Dimitrievich.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that under the provisions of Chapter 18046 of the Milwaukee City Charter, that a public hearing on the proposed budget for 2026 be held jointly by the Common Council and the Mayor on Monday, October 6, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. I further move that the city clerk be directed to publish the time and place of said hearing in accordance with these same charter provisions. And in addition, Mr. President, while I have the attention of people listening in the public in the city of Milwaukee, I want to invite you to our first ever public community listening session on the mayor's proposed 2026 budget, October 18th, 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the beautiful new Martin Luther King Library. We can't wait to see you there, Mr. President.
Is there any objection to that motion? Hearing none, so ordered. Will the city clerk please inform the Common Council of any commendations or condolences to be acknowledged at this time?
Item 1, communication from the city clerk relating to various commendatory and condolatory resolutions to be acknowledged and affirmed by the Common Council. 1, resolution recognizing the Milwaukee Fire Department on the occasion of its 150th anniversary. 2, resolution recognizing the 12th edition of the Puerto Rican Festival of Wisconsin. 3, resolution congratulating New Life Community Development on its 25th anniversary. 4, resolution congratulating St. Matthias Parish on the occasion of its 175th anniversary. 5, resolution recognizing Stenny's Tavern and Grill on the occasion of its 40th anniversary. 6, resolution congratulating the Zizzo Group on the occasion of its 150th anniversary. 7, resolution honoring Mother Billie J. Thomas on her decades of community service and leadership. 8, resolution congratulating Crystal Reed Hardy on her retirement from the Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee. 9, resolution congratulating John Spicer on his retirement from the Milwaukee Fire Department. 10, resolution congratulating Nancy Burns on her retirement from the Milwaukee Health Department. 11, resolution congratulating Timothy Bolger on his retirement from the Department of Neighborhood Services. 12, resolutions recognizing the following on their retirements from the Department of Public Works: Gerard Barrent, Randy Rouse. 13, resolutions congratulating the following on their retirements from the Milwaukee Public Schools: Tracy Adams, Andre Bird, Bernadine Cozy, Malcolm Liston.
Are there any objections to the foregoing commendations and condolences? If anyone wishes to be added as a sponsor to any of the commendations or condolences, please fill out the form on your desk and submit it to the city clerk before the close of workday. We will now take up reports of standing committees. Alderwoman Jocasta Samaripa will now present the report of the License Committee.
Item number 2, Common Council File number 250737, motion relating to the recommendations of the Licenses Committee relating to licenses. Included in the file are the following recommendations: approval with a 10-day suspension of the food dealer license of Abdel Jawad Hamed based on the preponderance of the evidence on the police report, aldermanic and applicant testimony that demonstrates that the operation results in a threat to health, safety, and welfare to the public for the premise located at 3249 North 3rd Street, doing business as 3rd Street Quick Mart in the 6th Aldermanic District. Written objections have been filed. Non-renewal of the Class B Tavern, public entertainment premise, and food dealer license for Marvin S. Bailey, based on the preponderance of the evidence on the police report and aldermanic applicant and neighborhood testimony that demonstrates that the operation results in a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the public, for the failure to comply with the approved plan of operations, disturbance of the peace, and excessive littering, for the premise located at 2230 North Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, doing business as Flame 13 Restaurant and Bar in the 6th Aldermanic District. No written objections have been filed. Approval with a 10-day suspension of the extended hours establishments, filling station, food dealer, and weights and measure licenses for Yunus I. Mohammed based upon the preponderance of the evidence on the police report, applicant, and neighborhood testimony that demonstrates the operation results in a threat to health, safety, or welfare of the public, for the premise located at 2707 West Burleigh Street, doing business as Gas Depot in the 7th Aldermanic District. Written objections have been filed.
Have the members read the report? Any objections filed? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Pratt. Aye. Chambers. Aye. Brower.
Aye.
Bauman. Aye. Westmoreland. Aye. Coggs. Jackson. Aye. Zamaripa.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Burgellis. Aye. Spiker.
Aye.
Dimitrievich.
Aye.
Stamper. Aye. Mr. President.
Aye.
15 ayes.
15 ayes. Are any of the following or their councils present, and if so, do they wish to address the common council? Abdul Jawad Hamed, Marvin Bailey, or Yohannes Mohammed? Please make your way to the front here.
Yes, you.
Alderwoman Samaripa moves that the common council resolve itself into the committee of the whole for the purpose of taking testimony in this matter. Hearing no objection, so ordered. Both sides are limited to 5 minutes and must confine their remarks to the report and recommendations of the committee. Mr. Hamed, or your counsel present, please address the council.
Morning. My name is Jawad Ferris, grandson of Abdul Jawad Hamid. I just wanted to come up here and hope you guys would reconsider the 10-day suspension for 3rd Street Quick Mart as a food dealer license. We are in a neighborhood. We did take actions to prevent what had happened back in April by hiring, by making our standards for hiring more higher, removing all firearms from the premises and putting a sign on the door that there is no firearms allowed on the premises for any workers or customers. We did take in consideration that we are in a neighborhood, we do have schools around us, we do have a church around us, and we are just there to provide service for the neighborhood and try to give back as much as we can.
Okay, any questions by committee members? Well, we have the applicant here. Okay, thank you. Oh, you have a question? Alderman Brower?
Yeah, thank you so much. Just want to make a statement. I appreciate coming here and making your case, and we had a lively discussion at licenses, but I just want to say in front of the rest of the council and those assembled that, while we hear you and understand that your business does provide needed services for the area, the idea that there has to be a consequence for your employees having a pistol right on the counter.
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate what I said in license, and I think other alders would, agree with me on this, that we need to ask ourselves what kind of message that's sending to communities. And while, it's understandable that there are safety issues in neighborhoods, having a loaded weapon on a counter sends the wrong message to the community. And that's why, I chose to cast my ballot to suspend for 10 days. That's not closing your operation. We just want a message sent to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions by council members? Okay, thank you, sir. Now, Assistant City Attorney Gresham. The floor is yours.
Assistant City Attorney Travis Gresham, you have before you the finding of facts
findings of fact and conclusions of law related to this matter, along with the recommendation of the licensing committee. I'm happy to answer any questions at this time.
Okay, thank you. Is Mr. Marvin Bailey available? Or present, I should say? No? Let the record reflect he is not here. And then Jonas I. Mohammed? Counselor? Floor is yours.
My name is David Bangert. I'm attorney for Mr. Mohammed, and Mr. Mohammed obviously is next to me. He's available to address any questions or speak if this body would choose to hear from him. I would just like to say that a fairly extensive packet in the written exceptions appeal letter was submitted on behalf of this business, and included with that are statements from the security guard, who is also here, and with Mr. Willie Luckett, who was the security guard that was present on the night of this unfortunate incident in July. His statement is summarized in this packet of material, but he's also present to testify if this body would like to hear from Mr. Luckett. I would also like to say that an influential member of Amani United, a community group, Ms. Crystal West, is here to testify, and I think her testimony perhaps summarizes a lot of this information that's also contained in this written exceptions appeal letter packet. Primarily, I would just like to highlight on the second page of that packet, it indicates that after this July incident, this shooting, there were recommendations made to the owner, to Mr. Mohammed, to install new security cameras, install LED lighting, remove the bus stop by making a request through Milwaukee County, change security personnel, participate in Amani United neighborhood meetings, hosting a community back-to-school drive. Mr. Mohammed has done all of those things since the recommendations were made, and I think that Ms. West, Crystal West, who is here, can probably address that in more detail. So I would like to, unless this body would like to hear from Mr. Mohammed personally, his statement is also a part of this packet, but it's a very short statement. But he's here to answer any questions that the Common Council might have of him. And then I would request that Ms. Crystal West be allowed to address this Common Council for just a short statement. Does anyone want to ask questions of Mr. Mohammed personally?
Counselor, if he's going to answer any questions, he has to be sworn in. So we can take care of that right here.
I don't know if there's...
Are there any questions by council members? There's no questions. Are you finished, Counselor?
Yes, I think so. I would like to introduce Ms. Crystal West from the Amani United and have her just make a short statement.
Mr. President?
She can't do that.
Yeah, but that's not necessary.
No, it's either you or the applicant, so.
Well, I'll just take a minute then to highlight a few things that I think she was going to go over. She has indicated, and in fact, in talking to me this morning, that Amani United definitely opposes a 10-day recommended suspension. They think that it's in the best interest of the community to allow the business to continue operating without interruption because of the involvement that the ownership, Mr. Mohammed, has made to work with Amani United and to work with the neighborhood and the community. He's done a lot of things. He's done all of those things and been involved with the community and with Amani United throughout his ownership, but he's intensified those efforts, especially since this July unfortunate incident. I believe that Ms. West would testify that She's a taxpayer. She's a resident in the neighborhood. She definitely, personally, opposes the suspension. And on behalf of of Amani United, of which she's the head of the Economic Development and Housing Department, she indicates that she wants to make it clear that Amani United opposes and takes exception to the recommended 10-day suspension.
You have 20 seconds. Anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Assistant City Travis Gresham, City Attorney.
Assistant City Attorney Travis Gresham, you have before you the findings of fact and conclusions of law related to this matter, along with the recommendations of the Licensing Committee. I'm happy to answer any questions at this time.
Chair recognizes Alderman Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know that they're here to ask about, us given to remove the 10-day. Can we subsequently make a motion to remove the 24 hours instead?
I would recommend against it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of the Assistant City Attorney? If not, thank you. Alderwoman Samaripa now moves that the Committee of the Whole rises. Here, no objection, so ordered. Are there any motions with respect to these matters? Hearing no further discussion, I would ask for a vote of the Common Council members to adopt the recommendations of the License Committee as contained in file number 250737. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Pratt.
Aye.
Chambers. Brower.
Aye.
Bauman. Westmoreland. Coggs. Jackson. Samaripa.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Vergellis.
Aye.
Spiker.
Aye.
Dimitrievich. Stamper.
Aye.
Mr. President.
Aye.
15 ayes.
15 ayes. Will the city clerk please identify the next item before the council?
Item 3, file number 250709. The committee recommends a 90-day suspension of the Class B tavern license of Lourdes Geronimo based upon the preponderance of the evidence on the police report, resident police, and aldermanic testimony that demonstrates that the operation results in a threat to health, safety, or welfare of the public for failure to comply with the approved plan of operations and disturbance of the peace for the premise located at 1663 South 11th Street, doing business as Club 69 in the 12th Aldermanic District. No written objections have been filed.
Is there any discussion of this matter? Hearing none, I would ask for a vote of the council members to adopt the recommendations of the License Committee as contained in file number 250709. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Pratt.
Aye.
Chambers. Brower.
Aye.
Bauman. Westmoreland. Coggs. Jackson. Samaripa.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
I'm sorry, Alderwoman Moore.
Aye.
Vergellis.
Aye.
Spiker.
Aye.
Dimitrievich.
Aye.
Stamper.
Aye.
Mr. President.
Aye.
15 ayes.
15 ayes. Will the clerk please identify the next item before the council?
Item number 4, file number 250776. The committee recommends the revocation of the Class B tavern and public entertainment premise for Francisco Gomez Ortiz based upon the preponderance of the evidence on the police report and MPD testimony that demonstrates that the operation results in a threat to health, safety, or welfare of the public for failure to comply with the approved plan of operation, illegal drug activity, criminal complaint and exhibits for the premise located at 1565 through 1570 South Muskego Avenue, doing business as Passion Nightclub in the 12th Aldermanic District. No written objections have been filed.
Is there any discussion of this matter? Hearing none, I would ask for a vote of the council members to adopt the recommendations of the License Committee as contained in file number 250776. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Pratt.
Aye.
Chambers. Brower.
Aye.
Bauman. Westmoreland.
Aye.
Coggs.
Aye.
Jackson. Zamaripa.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Vergellis.
Aye.
Spiker.
Aye.
Dimitrievich.
Aye.
Stamper.
Aye.
Mr. President.
Aye.
15 ayes.
15 ayes. This concludes the report of the License Committee. Alderwoman Malele A. Coggs will now present the report of the Public Works Committee.
The Public Works Committee recommends approval of 5, motion relating to the recommendations of the Public Works Committee relating to licenses. The Public Works Committee recommends passage of 6, a substitute ordinance relating to use and occupancy of the city-owned conduit system. The Public Works Committee recommends adoption of 7, resolution granting an approval of a driveway approach with a width greater than 30 feet for the premise at 432 East Kilbourne Avenue in the 4th Aldermanic District. 8, resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Works to execute agreements with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for the exchange of jurisdictions on 2 signalized intersections adjacent to Interstate Highway 4394 in the city of Milwaukee. 9, resolution relating to the display of a Veterans Mental Health and Suicide Awareness Flag. 10, resolution authorizing the City of Milwaukee Department of Public Works to install an official stop sign at the publicly traveled railroad grade crossing at East Jones Street near South Lincoln Memorial Drive for the planned National Highway Freight Program improvement of South Lincoln Memorial Drive from South Car Ferry Drive to Jones Street. 11, resolution determining it necessary to make various accessible public improvements at various locations and appropriating funds for these purposes, with the city engineering costs estimated to be $15,000, for a total estimated cost of these projects being $300,000. 12, substitute resolution determining it necessary to make various non-accessible public improvements at various locations and appropriating funds for these purposes, with the city engineering costs estimated to be $225,000, for a total estimated cost of these projects being $696,000. 13, resolution approving construction of non-accessible public improvements at various locations and appropriating funds for these purposes, with the city construction cost estimated to be $295,000, for a total estimated cost of these projects being $1,316,000. 14, resolution directing the Commissioner of Public Works to execute state municipal agreements for a state-let highway project with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for the construction of State Highway 241, South 27th Street, Botsford Avenue to Howard Avenue, to set up funds for construction with an estimated total cost of $1,799,850, with an estimated city share of $38,000 and a grantor share of $1,761,850. 15, resolution approving and adopting the agency safety plan for the HOP MKE streetcar dated March 2025, version 7.1, and August 2025, version 8. 16, resolution relating to the creation of the Milwaukee Area Racine-Kenosha Passenger Rail Commission. 17, substitute resolution renaming Marketplace Triangle as George Gary Park. The Public Works Committee recommends placing on file item number 18, communication, transmitting the Rail Transit System Safety Status Report for calendar year 2024 to the Milwaukee Common Council.
Is there any further discussion of the committee report? Hearing none, Alderwoman Taylor.
I just wanted to say for number 9, just a thank you to Tracy Dent, who is here today, because he did all the legwork for getting the flag approved by all the branches of the military, and for presenting it to the state level and the federal level, where they also appreciate the having the flag to represent the veterans' mental health and suicide awareness. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you for that recognition. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Alderwoman Coggs moves for approval of the remainder of the report of Public Works Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Pratt.
Aye.
Chambers. Brower.
Aye.
Bauman. Westmoreland. Coggs.
Aye.
Jackson. Samaripa.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Vergellis. Spiker.
Aye.
Dimitrievich.
Aye.
Stamper. Mr. President,
Aye.
15 ayes.
15 ayes, the committee report is adopted. Alderwoman Marina Dimitrievich will now present the report of the Finance and Personnel Committee.
The Finance and Personnel Committee recommends passage of 19, an ordinance relating to city wage requirements for service contracts. 20, a substitute ordinance to further amend the 2025 rates of pay of offices and positions in the city service. 21, a substitute ordinance to further amend the 2025 offices and positions in the city service. 22, a substitute ordinance relating to exemptions from city charges and fees for projects relating to accessible entrances. 23, a substitute ordinance relating to the suspension of permit fees for projects relating to the repair of flood damage. The Finance and Personnel Committee recommends adoption of 24, substitute resolution relating to acceptance and funding of 2025 through 2026 Family Foundation's Comprehensive Home Visiting Grant from the Wisconsin Department of Children and Families. 25, substitute resolution authorizing attendance at conventions, seminars, and other travel. 26, resolution reserving and appropriating up to $125,000 from the 2025 Common Council Contingent Fund to the 2025 Damages and Claims Fund Special Purpose Account, and authorizing the settlement of the lawsuit entitled IT and Others versus the City of Milwaukee and Others. 27, substitute resolution increasing 2025 capital grantor share appropriation authority. 28, resolution amending Common Council File Number 241773 relating to acceptance and funding of the 2022 through 2027 Public Health Infrastructure Grant from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. 29, resolution outlining the process and communication of 2026 health and dental insurance premium rates. 30, substitute resolution reserving and appropriating up to $1 million from the 2025 Common Council Contingent Fund to the 2025 Damages and Claims Fund Special Purpose Account for resolution relating to settlement of lawsuits and/or claims. 31, substitute resolution relating to required cybersecurity training for city employees. 32, substitute resolution appropriating up to $750,000 for the Department of Neighborhood Services Code Compliance Program. The Finance and Personnel Committee recommends placing on file 33, communication from the Department of Employer Relations relating to classification studies scheduled for Fire and Police Commission action. 34, communication from the Department of Employer Relations relating to classification studies scheduled for City Service Commission action. 35, communication from the Department of Employer Relations amending the salary and positions ordinances relating to clerical or administrative corrections. 36, communication from the Ethics Board regarding changes to the Y footnotes in the positions ordinance. And 37, communication from the Information Technology Management Division relating to policies and procedures governing the quarantining of email.
Chair recognizes Alderman Burgellis.
Thank you. 32, please.
Pardon me?
I requested separate action on 32.
Okay, there is separate action on 32. Would you like to speak to that or just take a roll call on it?
Mr. President, I move to amend Common Council File Number 250838 by inserting the following further resolved clause immediately after the first resolved clause. Further resolved that the first $500,000 received in repayment of loans issued through the Code Compliance Program after the effective date of this resolution shall be credited to the Partnerships in Affordable Ownership Housing Initiative Fund. What this does is allow that the $500,000 from housing be returned to housing once these code compliance loans are repaid.
Okay, on the simple amendment, Alderman Spiker, you have a question?
Yes, Mr. President.
Are you done, Alderman Burgellis?
Yes.
Alderman Spiker?
Yeah, I guess a question for the sponsor. So I see this as responsive to a concern I raised in committee, so I want to thank the sponsor for addressing it. The concern was, well, what if we take $500,000 out of the Partnerships and Affordable Housing Initiative Fund to reimburse DNS for their code compliance program work? How do we make sure that money ever comes back? The alder from the 11th said his intent was to make sure it comes back, but this is making that real. First of all, the question is that the intent?
Yes.
Okay. Then the second question, I guess, either for the sponsor or anybody else, is do we know what the default rate is on these loans? Because this is a fund that Alderman Stamper had identified a while back, and we say it's going to be repaid. Well, that all depends on how often these code compliance zero interest loans are repaid. And it might be that here, with respect to flood remediation, we're talking about a particularly vulnerable community who might have more difficulty than normal paying back the loan. So I guess what I want us to get comfortable with, or I'd ask Alderman Stamper whether he's comfortable with it, is what if the idea is that only half this money comes back, or only a third of this money comes back, or hardly any of it comes back. So I don't want it, just because it's on paper, that when they repay, it goes here. Well, what if they don't repay? So that's the concern I wanted to raise to salience. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Alderman Stamper?
Yes, thank you, and thank you, Alderman Spiker. That is the concern. However, this amendment is optimistic and hopeful that funds will be returned and replenish the funds so we can continue housing development in the city. So this is a teamwork amendment, and I am just hopeful, but mainly this is an effort to support the districts that were flooded heavily. This money was available. It is earmarked for a project based on matching funds for development. However, I'm hopeful that funds will come in, but in the meantime, I'd like to have some type of security in case we do get a default, or in case a property is sold, or in case we do receive funds back. So excellent question. That is the concern, but this is an optimistic amendment. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Alderman Spiker, for the question.
Yep, and that takes care of my concerns. Thank you to everyone.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
And FYI, the city clerk reminded me that when defaulted, it becomes a lien on the property and the funds are reimbursed at the time of sale.
Correct.
Chair recognizes Alderman Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I was going to say that, actually. To this file, I'm going to speak briefly on this file. Early August, the whole city witnessed a 1,000-year flood. Many communities were impacted. To some of it, the point of no return. There's over 55 houses that were deemed inhabitable, and I have the unfortunate pleasure to hold about 2/3 of those 55 houses that are deemed inhabitable. So, what do we do? Myself, Alderman Bergelis, Alderman Stamper, put our heads together and come up with something just to try to get these people going, especially before the winter came.
Yes.
And there's more to come, hopefully, because, while we are very appreciative of, the FEMA response, we have to, roll up our sleeves, talk with our counterparts in the state and also federal still, to try to get these individuals back to where they was prior to the flood. So, I strongly support this program. I strongly support this motion. I thank my colleagues for taking the opportunity to listen and support getting our residents back to some type of stability.
For sure.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Alderwoman Pratt.
I'd just like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Let the record reflect Alderwoman Pratt's co-sponsorship. And this is a simple amendment, so if there's no objection to this simple amendment, there's no further action needs to be taken. Chair recognizes Alderman Jackson.
I would also like to be added as co-sponsor, Mr. President.
Let the record reflect Alderman Jackson's co-sponsorship. Alderwoman Moore?
I as well would like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Okay.
Can we do unanimous?
Is there any objection to unanimous consent on co-sponsorship of this file?
Mr. President,
Alderman Spiker.
I object to the very notion of unanimous consent. However, I would like to be added as a co-sponsor. Just want to be asked.
Can have it both ways.
Any objection to unanimous consent? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay. And there's no objection to the simple amendment? Okay, thank you. That's ordered. City Clerk? Is that it for the file? Okay. Is there any further discussion of the committee report? Hearing none, Alderwoman Dimitrievich moves for adoption and the recommendations of the Finance and Personnel Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Pratt.
Aye.
Chambers. Brower.
Aye.
Bauman.
Aye.
Westmoreland. Aye. Coggs.
Aye.
Jackson. Zamaripa.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Bergelis.
Aye.
Spiker.
Aye.
Dimitrievich.
Aye.
Stamper.
Aye.
Mr. President,
Aye.
15 ayes.
15 ayes, the committee report is adopted. Alderman DeAndre Jackson will now present the report of the Judiciary and Legislation Committee.
The Judiciary and Legislation Committee recommends adoption of 38, substitute resolution relating to the claim of Lasagna Stennis, 39, resolution canceling certain real estate taxes levied against certain parcels bearing tax key numbers on the 2018, 20, 22, and 24 tax rolls, plus interest applicable to date of repayment if appropriate. 40, substitute resolution relating to legislative bills. 41, substitute resolution amending the City of Milwaukee state legislative package to seek introduction and passage of state legislation to ensure that state transportation aids match city-generated transportation-related tax revenue. 42, resolution approving the revised municipal court non-traffic deposit schedule. 43, resolution authorizing settlement of the lawsuits entitled James McNutt and others versus Lauren Borowski and others. 44, substitute resolution approving the settlement of the complaint entitled Luciano Rogers versus the City of Milwaukee. The Judiciary and Legislation Committee recommends placing on file 45, resolution authorizing payment of the claims of Charles Weathersby Jr., and the Judiciary and Legislation Committee recommends disallowance and indefinite postponement of 46 through 48 claims against the city.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Hearing none, Alderman Jackson moves for the adoption of the recommendations of Judiciary and Legislation Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Pratt.
Aye.
Chambers. Aye. Brower.
Aye.
Bauman.
Aye.
Westmoreland.
Aye.
Coggs.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Zamaripa. Taylor.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Burgellis.
Aye.
Spiker.
Aye.
Dimitrievich.
Aye.
Stamper.
Aye.
Mr. President,
Aye.
15 ayes.
15 ayes, the committee report is adopted. Alderman Scott Spiker will now present the report of the Public Safety and Health Committee.
The Public Safety and Health Committee recommends passage of 49, a substitute ordinance relating to street takeovers, stunt driving, and spectating at illegal racing events. 50, a substitute ordinance relating to parking controls. 51, an ordinance relating to traffic controls. The committee recommends adoption of 52, substitute resolution amending the Common Council file number 250136 relative to acceptance and funding of the 2025-26 Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant from the Wisconsin Department of Health. 53, resolution authorizing the Health Department to accept donations of diapers, wipes, period supplies, and related items from the Milwaukee Diaper Missions through 2025. 54, resolution relating to the acceptance and funding of the 2025 Milwaukee National Integrated Ballistics Information Network Enhanced Capacity Initiative Grant. The committee recommends placing on file item 55, communication from the Fire and Police Commission relating to standard operating procedures.
Chair recognizes Alderwoman Dimitrievich.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to speak on item 49. May I?
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you to the sponsors of item 49, a substitute ordinance relating to street takeovers, stunt driving, and spectating at illegal racing events. I wanted to just make sure that I got it on the record, as my constituents may be viewing this, and I have gotten some questions. After speaking to the police department, the authors, viewing the committee hearing, and as well as the city attorney's office, legislation like this takes time. I think that's the best way democracy operates when we're trying to deal with an issue that just kind of spiked up nationwide. We do have to be careful as we go forward to react and try to stop dangerous activity. The questions that I had, Mr. President, were mostly around what happens pretty frequently in my district, and more often than I would have ever imagined in 2025, which are kind of pop-up organic gatherings of the public. We're seeing a challenging time with free speech, with rights, democracy, our Constitution. So I wanted to be sure that there would be no conflict here if those continue to arise. Many of those, as you know, are not permitted. We should be able to go in our streets and voice our support or discontent with anything. That is quite different than what you and your co-sponsor seek to stop. I want to make sure that there's quite a distinction, but I wanted to be very careful about that language, and I feel that we have a delicate balance here to stop this poor behavior, but still allow what should be pretty much open free speech at any time. And with that, I'll be supporting it, Mr. President.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Alderman Brower.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to echo what Alderman Dmitrievich said about the concerns related to civil liberties. I did get a chance to read this legislation, and my concerns regarding that are mostly satisfied with this legislation. I just want to state out here right now that if the passage of this ordinance results in any sort of abridgment of people's rights to freely express themselves, that I'll be one of the first, along hopefully with others here, to repeal this ordinance if the police department misuses this. Obviously, sometimes when you engage in direct actions, like I have in the past, the intent is to be arrested, and that's part of what we're doing. But sometimes it's not, and sometimes we have police departments across the country that are mischarging people. And so if the Milwaukee Police Department and its officers choose to engage in that kind of behavior, even if those charges are subsequently dropped, I would just caution that, I think this body should re-examine this legislation if that happens. But I intend to support it because we do need to take action on this matter. We've had street takeovers on the east side. It's at minimum annoying and at maximum a complete threat to people's peace and quiet and their safety. So we do need to take action as a body. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Brown. Chair recognizes Alderman Chambers.
Please add, thank you, Mr. President, please add me as a co-sponsor, item number 49. Thank you.
Let the record reflect Alderman Chambers' co-sponsorship of item 49. Chair recognizes Alderman Stamper.
Yeah, thank you. I'm also want to be a co-sponsor. I missed the discussion. However, I am interested in the spectating of illegal racing events portion of the legislation. I'm sure the discretion is at the police department, but is there any distinguishment between the innocent versus the guilty? How will they judge the spectating? Phone, encouragement, incitement? Was that discussed?
Chair recognizes Alderman Alderman Spiker.
Thank you, Mr. President. So to Alder Stamper's question, if you look on page 3, where it defines what spectating is, actually, if you come back to page 2. So first, I wanted to shout out, like I did at committee, Ms. Adis from the LRB for her very dedicated and very thorough, and that means a lot coming from me, very thorough work on this file. It was very nuanced. The end product, I think, is far superior to where we began, and it's in part due to obviously President Perez's and my work, but also couldn't have done it without Adis and the city attorney's office. So thank you for that. With that out of the way, page 2, spectator. What is it? So this would be definitions, section 2, B. Spectator means a person who is knowingly present for the purpose of viewing, encouraging, recording, or otherwise attending a racing event or street takeover as it occurs or while preparations are underway. Factors that may be used to determine whether a person is a spectator include, and then it gives a list, which everyone is capable of reading. And then we'll skip over to page 3, spectating prohibited, under part 5, section 3. No individual shall knowingly be present as a spectator at a racing event or a street takeover. So already was true for a racing event. We're now adding street takeover. Or where preparations are being made for a racing event or a street takeover with the intent to be present at the racing event or a street takeover. You see a theme here. An individual shall be considered to be present if that individual is located in the area of the event or its preparations. And that is an end on it. So the idea. Street takeovers are a thing these days. They've always been a thing, but they're really a thing these days. What's different from in the past? The internet, social media specifically. So people wouldn't be endangering themselves and those around them, at least nearly to the extent they are, unless they were going to become social media stars as a result. In fact, that is the purpose in many of these cases. To the extent one goes to an event for the purpose of promoting that, one might argue one is complicit in the action and continuing its recurrence, which we've seen over and over again. So if you really want to stop street takeovers, adding what we already have for racing events to those, that spectating and being an active participant as a spectator, that's going to come not with a criminal penalty, but with a municipal fine. At, of course, the discretion of the city attorney's office and prosecution, and of course the judge gets to make the ultimate choice about how involved you were, but that's going to be fact-specific, and we dare not legislate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair would your questions answered?
Well, thank you. Excellent leadership. I continue my desire to want to be a co-sponsor. I would just add that we need to do some type of messaging or informing this particular community about the new law and how we're coming down to enforce it. So I don't know if it's on the police department or if we have part of DOA do some type of messaging, but I would, after this passes, I would like to get the word out, and we can do it in conjunction as a council.
Sure.
Thank you.
You want to be part of the PSA, Alderman Stamper?
You know,
Put you on video.
I'm open. I'm open.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you. Chair recognizes Alderman Burgellis.
Thank you, Mr.
President, please add me as a co-sponsor.
Let the record reflect Alderman Burgellis' co-sponsorship. Chair recognizes Alderman Bauman.
The same thing, just me as a co-sponsor.
Okay. Any further discussion? I want to take a second to thank everyone who really stepped up. Initially, this was just a one-word addition to an existing ordinance, and hearing from Alderman Brower and Alderwoman Dimitrievich and even Congresswoman Moore to really take our time and get this done right was, it was needed, so I wanted to thank everyone. Alderman Jackson?
I just wanted to be added as a co-sponsor. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Jackson's co-sponsorship. Okay, thank you very much. With that said, Alderman Spiker moves for adoption of the recommendations of Public Safety and Health Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Pratt.
Aye.
Chambers. Brower.
Aye.
Bauman.
Aye.
Westmoreland. Aye. Cogs.
Aye.
Jackson. Zamaripa.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Burgellis.
Aye.
Spiker.
Aye.
Dimitrievich.
Aye.
Stamper.
Aye.
Mr. President.
Aye.
15 ayes.
15 ayes. The committee report is adopted. Alderman Robert Bauman will now present the report of the Zoning, Neighborhoods, and Development Committee.
The Zoning, Neighborhoods, and Development Committee recommends passage of 56, an ordinance relating to the sale of city real estate. 57, substitute ordinance relating to the change in zoning from detailed plan development known as 15s at the Park East to two-family residential, RT4, to restore the previous zoning designation for the properties located at 1524, 1540, 1546 North Jefferson Street on the east side of North Jefferson Street, south of East Pleasant Street, and allow for existing building to be reused as an office in the 4th Automatic District. The committee recommends adoption of 58, resolution approving a final certified survey map for land located on the east side of North 13th Street, north of East Village Street in the 15th Automatic District. 59, substitute resolution directing the Department of City Development to develop on North Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive corridor plan that will amend the Northeast Side Area Comprehensive Plan, part of the City of Milwaukee's overall comprehensive plan in the 6th Automatic District, and authorizing the transfer of funds from the Capital Improvements Advanced Planning Funds to a subaccount for the King Drive Corridor Plan. 60, substitute resolution directing the Department of City Development to prepare a corridor plan for the Lisbon Avenue that will amend both the Washington Area Park Plan and the Fond du Lac and North Area Plan, parts of City of Milwaukee Overall Comprehensive Plan in the 15th Automatic District, and authorizing transfer of funds from the Capital Improvements Advanced Planning Fund to a subaccount for the Lisbon Avenue Design Charrette and Corridor Plan. 61, substitute resolution authorizing and directing the transfer of funds from the Capital Improvement Advanced Planning Fund to a sub-accounts for comprehensive planning and land use and zoning analysis. 62, resolution approving the project plan and a development agreement authorizing the expenditure and creating tax incremental district number 126, known as Field House Plats, in the 6th Automatic District. 63, resolution approving a project plan and a development agreement authorizing the expenditures and creating the tax incremental district number 129, known as Mitchell Building, in the 4th Automatic District. 64, substitute resolution approving amendment number 4 to the project plan for the tax incremental district number 53, known as Menominee Valley Shops, and authorizing additional expenditures in the 4th, 8th, 10th, and 12th Automatic Districts. 65, resolution authorizing the approval of the land disposition report and sale of the city-owned tax deed property at 3774 South 27th Street in the 13th Automatic District. 66, resolution relating to the acceptance and funding of a sub-award of the Midwest Frontline Fund's Great Lakes Thriving Communities grant-making program through the Sherman Park Community Association in support of the Environmental Collaborations Office Healthy Homes and ECO Neighborhoods Project. The committee recommends placing on file item 67, communication from the Office of Equity and Inclusion relating to the Human Resource Requirements Quarterly Report for the Corrigan Street Extension and Harbor Drive Public Improvement Project. And 68, resolution relating to the suspension of permit fees for projects related to the repair of flood damage.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Hearing none, Alderman Baumann moves for adoption of the recommendation Zoning and Neighborhood and Development Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Pratt.
Aye.
Chambers. Brower.
Aye.
Baumann.
Aye.
Westmoreland. Cogs.
Aye.
Jackson. Zamaripa.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Burgeles.
Aye.
Spiker.
Aye.
Dimitrievich.
Aye.
Stamper.
Aye.
Mr. President,
Aye.
15 ayes.
15 ayes, the committee report is adopted. Alderman Russell Stamper II will now present the report of the Community and Economic Development Committee.
The Community and Economic Development Committee recommends adoption of 69, substitute resolution approving annexation of territory to Business Improvement District Number 20 to be known as East North Avenue in the 3rd Automatic District. 70, substitute resolution approving up to $1,500 from the Community and Economic Development Committee Fund to the Community Thanksgiving Lunch. The committee recommends confirmation of 71, nomination of Matia de la Cruz as the 13th District Representative to the Milwaukee Youth Council. 72, appointment of Aplexa Patel to the Business Improvement District Number 48 by the mayor. 73, nomination of Corinne Caldwell to the 10th District Representative to the Milwaukee Youth Council. 74, appointment of Jason McNeil to the Business Improvement District Number 48 by the mayor. 75, appointment of Frank DeCon to the Business Improvement District Number 15 by the mayor. 76, reappointment of Ted Metcalf to the Business Improvement District Number 37 by the mayor. The committee recommends placing on file item 77, resolution relating to the use and allocation of Home Investment Partnership 2025 reprogramming funds.
Chair recognizes Alderman Brower.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I would like to introduce a substitute amendment for item number 69, file number 250414.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I move to amend Common Council file number 250414 by replacing substitute 1, attached proposed substitute. I further move adoption of the resolution as substituted. And this proposed substitute just revises the boundary description of the Business Improvement District to remove a few properties over on Thomas, Greenwich, and Frederick Avenues, and just kind of make sure that the bid includes every property that wants to be in it. Thank you.
Okay, is there any objection to the substitute amendment? Okay, hearing none, so ordered. Thank you. The chair recognizes Alderwoman Taylor.
I'd like to abstain from number 74.
Okay, let the record reflect Alderwoman Taylor's abstention to item number 74, file 250765. Any other or further discussion of the committee report? Hearing none, Alderman Stamper moves for the adoption and recommendations of the Community and Economic Development Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Pratt.
Aye.
Chambers. Aye. Brower.
Aye.
Bauman.
Aye.
Westmoreland.
Aye.
Coggs.
Aye.
Jackson. Zamaripa.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Burgellis.
Aye.
Spiker.
Aye.
Dimitrievich.
Aye.
Stamper.
Aye.
Mr. President,
Aye.
15 ayes.
15 ayes, the committee report is adopted. We will now take up communications from city officers.
File number 250805, communication from the city clerk relating to service of papers.
Order on file.
File number 250806, communication from the city clerk relating to condolatory resolutions to be acknowledged and affirmed by the Common Council.
Order on file.
File number 250807, communication from the city clerk relating to official notices and reports.
Order on file.
File number 250852, reappointment of Douglas Hogg, Harold Martin, and Patricia Reeves Coutu to the Board of the Election Commissioners.
Order on file. Are there any matters to be considered for immediate adoption?
There are 3 matters for immediate adoption. Item number 78, file number 250829, nomination of Adeline Chavez as the 11th District Representative to Milwaukee Youth Council. Item number 79, file number 250887, resolution conditionally approving a final certified survey map. And item number 80, file number 250891, motion approving a schedule of